Hi everybody, it's Mike Newman again from DieTrack.com and the Illinois Prep Harrier, bringing you another wonderful edition of the Monday morning finish line. Had a big weekend. A lot of teams were off this weekend. Well, not a lot of them, but there were some teams that were off. Big meet of the weekend was the Palatine Invitational Meet of Champions at Deer Grove East in Palatine. We're also going to talk about the Charger Classic in Aurora at Oakhurst Forest Preserve. There's a little bit of a controversy there, and we will get into that a little bit. And there's some other meets that we will talk about briefly too, but we're going to concentrate on Palatine. What a weird way to start the morning there. I was there about 7:30 and a storm came in. It was like about a 15-minute rainstorm where it was coming down hard and the temperature changed, went down a little bit, the winds picked up, but that course was so ready to go. Kudos to the people at the Cook County Forest Preserve and also the people that set it up, Joe Parks, Chris Quick, Matt Sheehan, the whole bunch at Palatine High School. Wonderful. The course was ready to go. It was ready to for the runners to run fast there. They were also selling programs too. Look at this. I got this one. Somebody came up to me and asked, "Sir, you're going to really need a program. You're going to need to know about the runners in today's meet." So I didn't buy one, but somebody gave that to me, and but I think that was a great thing. So for the fans that did not know what was going on, that was a great thing. Great touch by Palatine High School. Two great races. First, let's talk about the girls' race. And Kaylee Flanagan, you know, we start out with her every week, but there's reason to start out with her every week because she does such a great job. And here we are at the start of the girls' varsity race. 30 seconds into it, she already has like about a 5-meter lead. She had a 15-second lead. She goes by the mile in about 5:15, and nobody was close to her. And it was just, you know, Kaylee, you're making it boring for us reporters because we have to come up with something new every week. Can't you just, I'm kidding. Kaylee's running unbelievably well right now, and it's hard to see anybody getting close to her. She ran a great race at Deer Grove East. Nobody was with her. This was her race. It was her against the clock. She ran 16:49, beat her own course record in tough conditions. That wind was brutal by about 2 seconds. Team-wise in the girls' race, it was a good team race. And I want to tell you something. Assumption, I loved how they ran yesterday because they stayed up in the pack. That gang is how you run a great team race. They stayed up there. Bailey Davis and Catherine Receiver and Kelsey Bean. I think that's right. I didn't write it down. They were at the halfway point. They were about 9th, 10th, and 11th, and they were back. It was a sizable gap back. I read some things elsewhere where they were close by. They weren't close by. There was a gap there between Wasowitz and Sammy Staples. Tess Wasowitz from Palatine, Sammy Staples from Crystal Lake Central had a good gap. It was like 5 seconds, and there was another group of runners, and then another 4 seconds, and there were the Assumption threesome. Assumption last week at Trinity Valkyrie in Louisville had a big split, 86-second split, but it was their first meet of the year. On this day, they moved that last mile. I mean, moved it. And talking to Assumption's coach afterwards, they weren't trying to make a national statement. Well, I made a big statement at this meet. 50 points over a very good Lake Park team and with Palatine third. 43-second split, 2-3-9 in a quality field like that. And they're going places nationally this year. It'll be interesting to see how they do. Lake Park, here again, improving. Ran a better race this week. Brianne Murphy was the number 2 runner for Lake Park this week. And split was 41 seconds. 41, let me see. 41 seconds on their second to fifth runner. And it was under 2 minutes for the first time this year. Minute 48 seconds is their best split of the year on 5 runners. So things are looking up for the Lancers, Lake Park. You look great, and we won't see them in team action until their conference meet. Next week is the Falcon Classic at St. James. It's an individual flight meet, so we won't see that team atmosphere, so to speak, with that. It's going to be individual running. Palatine third again. They were again without their 5th runner, Amy Kuzalewski, and hopefully she'll be back soon. They had a 52-second split on their first 4 runners, and that's what we're going to kind of base it off, because Amy has been kind of close to the first 4 this year. So Palatine has a little bit of work to do getting their split down. But it was an interesting race. Assumption looked great. Boys race, wow. What a close battle. Let's just say St. Xavier was rated 14th by one national publication, and they should be in the top 10 easily. They looked great on Saturday. Talk about the individual race. Great individual race. I mean, if you like tactical races, if you're watching closely, it was a battle early on between Grant Nykaza of Beecher and Jack Heenland of St. Ignatius. One thing that I was watching for is just the tactics between the two, and they were trading things off. They were making little moves. I was noticing Grant was making moves on the turns. He was making little surges on there to see if Heenland would stay with him, and he did. The last mile, it was just Keeneland and Nykaza, and there was a pack behind them with Harry Winter, a friend, and Alex Baker of Crystal Lake Central. We'll get to Alex in a little bit. I really want to talk about him. And then Keeneland made a move with a half mile to go, and Nykaza stayed with him. And Grant made that move in the last 200 meters. They were kicking together. Neither one wanted to give, and at the end, Nykaza made one last burst, and he only won by 0.6 of a second, 14:36.4 to 14:37. Only missed Jack Driggs's course record by 3 seconds, so that's saying a lot. And Driggs ran 14:16 at state his senior year, so a lot to say with that. Team race. Now, when we did the weekend preview show on Friday, if you want to go back to that, I said the key for St. Xavier was getting at least 1 or 2 runners in front of York's first runner, whoever that may be, or close to it, for them to have a chance. St. Xavier had a 29-second split on Saturday. Last week at Trinity Valkyrie, 29-second split. And Connor Sheriak was 6th, ahead of York's first runner Chris May, who was 8th. And then Sam Lewis for St. Xavier was 10th. And they got in that York pack, and that's all they needed. York, I didn't see people jumping off of the Prairie Path Bridge on Route 83 in Elmhurst when I went by there Saturday night on my way home. I think there was a lot of doom and gloom in the York area. York didn't run as good a race as they did at Peoria Notre Dame. They still had a 5-second split on their first 3 guys. Scott Milling stayed with the pack most of the way, dropped back a little bit at the end. They had a 19-second split on 4 runners. Now, they didn't have Matt Plowman, who's their 5th runner at Peoria, in the race. He ran in the sophomore race. As a quick side note on that, he started out the first 150 meters into the race. He did a face plant, got knocked down. Somebody stepped on his face. He got up and he got 2nd place, ran 16 minutes. His face was bloody afterwards. He's doing okay. But it was just one of those things. York, Zach Harrier was the 5th runner for York, and he was 10 seconds back from where he was last week at Peoria. If he was 10 seconds forward, St. Xavier still would have beaten York. I mean, that's how tight St. Xavier's pack was. York had a 46-second split on 5. York worked through the week. They had a hard workout at the beginning of the week. They didn't have a tough... They raced on Thursday. They didn't have a workout on Thursday. Hard workout on Thursday. They raced on Thursday at East End Park. Zach Smith at Downers North ran 14:08 on their course. and then York came in with a 24-second split in 5. Very controlled race for them. They looked good, and so no excuses from the York camp. St. Xavier beat them. Let's talk about Jones College Prep. Boy, what kind of emotions are you going through when you're on teacher strike and you're at the beginning of the week you're thinking, I'm not going to run in this big meet. Boy, they looked great. 4 runners in the first 15. They had like a 18, 19-second split on 4 runners, and they had control of the race. They were ahead of York. They were ahead of St. Xavier at that point. Kyle Maloney had an off day. He'll be up there when the time comes. He ran 15:50. Talking to Jones's coach, Andrew Adelman, afterwards, said, Kyle ran 15:50. I'll definitely take that. Jones had a 55-second split. They missed beating York by 1 point. Now, for this small school, only in its 4th year of existence, 4th year of cross country, unbelievable. They've taken a step forward. So anybody in the national arena or in the regional arena rating Jones should be up there. We knew that. I knew that at the beginning of the year. And it was one of those things. St. Xavier, they had those guys up there. We predicted, call me Noomstradamus. I don't know. Don't call me that. But Jones looked great. Luke O'Connor came on strong in that last mile, caught his teammate Jamison Dale. But they had 4 guys together, O'Connor, Dale, Kirby Lawson. Pete Shable was out of Kirby Lawson, actually. Jones is clearly the #1 team in 2A right now. And the thing is with Jones, they run at St. Charles North next week. And then they run the North-South City Challenge for the marathon thing. And then their conference, and they're really, they don't really have a tough race until state. Their sectional is not strong. That's a nice way of saying it. So, Jones is in the driver's seat at this point. It's not counting, we're not counting out Belvedere North, obviously, or Yorkville or Normal University High. We're not counting out any of those teams. So, there were great races all the way, 7 races at Palatine. It's just a fun day to watch cross-country running in Illinois. Other winners, quickly, Kara Burton of Palatine won the girls' frosh soft. Olivia Bowie of Assumption, Kentucky, won the girls' JV race. David Rodriguez of Hershey, normally their #1, #2 guy on their varsity. They moved him down to the sophomore level. He's been, hasn't been running great so far. Jay Renault wanted to get him some competition against his own age, and he won convincingly by 14 seconds over Plowman of York. Great race by David. Alex Bauman of York won the boys JV, and John May also of York won the boys freshman. John, I know you watch this, so I set your name on there. Okay, on here, whatever. So, great, boy, I'm at 13 minutes. This is going to be a long show tonight, people. The Aurora Central Catholic Charger Classic. I don't know what I really want to say. I know what I want to say in my heart, but I'm not going to say it. There were a lot of teams. There were 29, 30 teams. Girls race first. Unbelievable time by Stephanie Jenks of Linn-Mar High School in Iowa. And she's a triathlete. She's a multi-sport person. She ran 16:17 on that fast course. I've heard different distances from 3 miles down to 2.92, 2.93. Take it with what it is. 16:17 on any, for a girl. Any distance close to 3 miles is great. Skylar Bollinger of Yorkville was second in 17 minutes. Yorkville had 5 in the first 27. Normal U-High got third, and right behind Linn-Mar, and they had 5 in the first 28, I think it is, something like that. Normal U is going to be a good team to be reckoned with in 2A when it comes to state meet time. They're going to be tough. The boys race. This is where the controversy was. You have 30 teams in the race in a starting area where you have to get into the woods. Otherwise, you can't pass for the next 1.25 miles or whatever. In a about 200 meters into the race, there was 20 runners went down. Yorkville lost, two of the runners went down. One of them got up. The other, Luke Hofert, did not. He got spiked, twisted his ankle. He was out. 20 runners went down. The question is, should they have recalled the race? Well, I've heard 200 meters. I've heard 150 meters. IHSA ruling, or for officials' rulings or national, it's 100 meters, and the official, the starter referee, has the right to call the race back if something happens within the first 100 meters. And I've seen it in regionals and everything else. In sectionals last year at Niles West it happened. Didn't happen here. Caleb Beck of Oswego was one of the runners, who's a pre-race favorite, was one of the runners that was in that fall. So it was an interesting race, to say the least. It changed the team dynamics a little bit more. Normal U-High, great race by them. 2 runners in the first 10, Brendan Hoskins and Wesley Ward, beat Yorkville by 3 points. Now Yorkville wasn't without one of their top 3 runners because of that fall. It happens in cross country. Thank God it wasn't Detweiler in November, you know. So we'll see. We'll see. Hey, but Charles Thornton of Oswego East Jr., great weight. Boy, Elmer Fudd here. Great race, Charles. Won the race 14:41. That's a breakthrough race for Charles. We're going to see some other great things from him this year. But a great job. And Jake Haufert from Yorkville was second. So a little bit of controversy. Troy Kerber emailed me and said that there's one possibility of moving. There's 2 divisions that run together in that varsity race. They're thinking of splitting up next year. I hope they do, so that we don't see anything unfortunate like that again. So that's the end of that. Quickly, I haven't gotten a bunch of results. We did get Springfield. I read in the Springfield Journal Register. Haven't received the results yet. Jimmy Chow of Naperville North won by about 3 seconds over Mark Mayton. Naperville North won the team title in the boys level with 34 points, so I don't have any details on that. Rochester and Megan McNichols won the girls team and individual title. Bartlett race, Bartlett Invitational at Sunrise Park. I guess it was a slow pace. Everybody stayed close together, and Laura Van Liebergen of Jacobs took it out the last half mile, won by about 16 seconds. Schaumburg pulled a surprise, won with 56 points. Jacobs was 63, and St. Charles North was ranked number 6, 65. Interesting battle there. There are other meets that we could talk about. Gumerson Invite. Jessica Ackerman was back. Olivia Ryan outkicked her at the very end from Fenwick. They ran the same time, 17:47 at Schiller Woods. Great time there. Mount Prospect won the boys title there. St. Joe Ogden Spartan Classic. I'm doing this off of the top of my head. I did see the results, and they should be up when you see this video. I hope they're up. I do have the results. St. Teresa, Decatur St. Teresa won easily on the girls level, and on the boys level, Shelbyville ran a great pack race again and won convincingly over a good Monticello team. So Shelbyville's moving up. They're a good team. We'll watch them in the next few weeks also. So we got that. Did not have any questions of the day. I'll have a picture up on the Harrier. Emmett Barr got his t-shirt. Emmett Barr was the first person to ask a question of the day. You can email newman.dice.il@gmail.com. He got a Dice.at t-shirt. I'm running out of them, and since we're die track now, hey, so. The one thing that I really wanted to go over quickly, and I've got a few minutes left, I'm going long today, but hey, it was a great weekend. I finally am able to start to walk. I think adrenaline kicked in. I was running all over the place at Palatine, and then as soon as the races were over and as soon as the interviews were over, I was going back to my car, and when I got out to pick up my daughter, I couldn't get out of the car because I couldn't move. Rigor mortis, Riggy was not kind to me Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, so I'm able to walk at least, but I had a great time. Saw a lot of great people there. I think we can look at individual runners in each of the classes right now. There are a lot of runners that have distinguished themselves. 1A, Megan McNicholas, freshman from Rochester. Boy, she has taken that class by storm. She'd be the one runner that I would watch right now there. And the boys, Grant Nikaza. He proved that he's one of the top runners in the state by winning at Palatine. And he won easily at first to the finish. I'm running 14:40 there. I would say he's the favorite there. Jake Brown from Mount Zion is another runner that you would watch there. 2A girls, Katie Adams ran away with the race at Grant on Saturday. No problem there. Sammy Staples rebounded from a rough race at Canelan. She looked great. Was 4th place. We have an interview with her in the recap of the Palatine Invite on Ditrack. Take a look at that. Great interview with her. 2A boys, I'd say right now Garrett Lee is the one that I would watch at this point, but there's some other good runners to watch too. His teammate Tyler Young from Belvedere North, Riley McInerney from Charleston. I'm probably missing a lot more. Alex Baker of Crystal Lake Central. Boy, nobody was talking about him in the previews. I saw Quicks and Parksy's preview on the Palatine website on Friday, and they didn't mention Alex. He got 3rd, and for a 2A runner, he's gonna be somebody to watch. The Jones guys too, Luke O'Connor and Jamison Dale, they're gonna be up there. 2A has a lot of great individuals. Joe Singleton of Glenbard South. 3A, Kaylee Flanagan. Enough said there. And Madeline Perez got within 8 seconds of her last week at Richard Spring. She would be the one runner that I would really watch. And the boys, I think it's come down to 2 right now, but there are a lot of great 3A runners right now. But the 2 that I would really watch would be Jack Keeneland of St. Ignatius and Patrick Perry. Jeez, mind fart there. Patrick Perrier, that wasn't on purpose, Patrick. And Patrick ran great at Richard Spring, and he's going to be one of those guys to watch for the individual title in 3A. So it's end of September. We got to start looking at those little things like that. So that's about it. Check during the week on Ditrack. We're going to have some great articles on there. I have some things planned that'll be on that national site, and you know you're going to get your ratings on Tuesday in Illinois Prep, Harrier.com and Ditrack. Rankings, coaches polls, you name it, we'll have it. Should be an interesting week. Thursday, great triangular if you're in the LaGrange area, Western Springs area. Number 1, right now, number 1, York. Yeah, I've already gotten phone calls. Drop York down. No, they don't believe it. Number 1. York number 1, Lyons Township, who ran pretty good at Indiana at the Culver Academy's meet, had a 23-second split in 5. They're going to be running on their home course against York, and a very good Hinsdale Central team too, who's ranked 11th or 12th. So that is going to be a great triangular. But we'll be back on Friday with the weekend preview show, and I hope everybody's doing okay. It's gotten a little bit nippy out there, so try to stay warm on your morning runs, and think good things, study hard, guys, and I'll see you on Friday. Or if I don't see you on a cross-country course somewhere, say hi. So, or if you see me on the prairie path running or walking or whatever. So that's it for me. Have a great weekend, everyone, and I will see you on Friday. Bye.